Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this morning's update on Tropical Storm Bret. So, Tropical Storm Bret is nearing hurricane strength and now has maximum sustained winds of 70 miles per hour and is moving west at 15 miles per hour as of Thursday, June 22nd, 2023, 8 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. A tropical storm watch remains in effect for Barbados and St Vincent and the Grenadines, and we have tropical storm warnings in effect from St Lucia through Martinique through Dominica. We even now have a hurricane watch in effect for St Lucia. We're still expecting tropical storm Bret to approach between St Lucia and Martinique around 2 p.m. this afternoon, and then or actually around 8 p.m. this evening, and then move west of the Lesser Antilles by 2 a.m. tonight, and then move into the Central Caribbean uh, between Friday afternoon and Saturday afternoon, not posing a threat to Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, or the ABC Islands. So looking at the latest Zoom Earth satellite and interactive forecast track for Tropical Storm Bret, Tropical Storm Bret is looking very impressive as it is approaching Barbados. We got a very large cloud shield, very organized convection around the center, and all of this heavy rainfall and moisture is headed straight for Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Martinique, and Dominica this afternoon. And looking at the interactive track by this afternoon around 1 p.m., Tropical Storm Bret is expected to maintain its 70 mile per hour tropical storm status as it goes just north of Barbados. And then as we go into 1 a.m. Friday morning, Tropical Storm Bret is expected to move over northern St. Lucia as a 65 mile per hour tropical storm. However, I'm thinking that there's an outside chance that Bret could become a hurricane right before he hits St. Lucia. So, especially if you live in St. Lucia and Martinique, you need to be making your last minute tropical storm, even hurricane preparations, as Tropical Storm Bret has continued to intensify overnight. Looking at, and then we have the tropical storm warnings in the blue, hurricane warning in the pink, tropical storm watches in the yellow. So looking at the latest wind speeds according to the GFS model, these are sustained winds. The GFS model is estimating winds between 30 and 40 miles per hour to the north of Bret, and in the eye wall, winds between about 50 and 60 miles per hour. As of right now, looking at the wind gusts, we're seeing wind gusts as high as near hurricane force in the eye wall of Bret, with tropical storm force winds extending well to the north. So even in areas like Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, you're likely going to be seeing tropical storm force winds from Bret as he approaches this afternoon. Looking at the key messages for Tropical Storm Bret, Bret is forecast to approach the Lesser Antilles today and then move across those islands this evening and tonight as a strong tropical storm. A hurricane watch and tropical storm warning are in effect for St. Lucia, and a tropical storm warning is in effect for Martinique and Dominica. There is a risk of flooding from heavy rainfall, strong winds, and dangerous waves along the coast within the warning area. A tropical storm watch remains in effect for Barbados and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Additional watches or warnings are possible for some islands in the Lesser Antilles later today. So looking at the latest wind speed probabilities for tropical storm force winds from the National Hurricane Center, we are now looking at a 70 to 80% chance of tropical storm force winds across St. Lucia and Martinique, and across northern Barbados, about a 40 to 50% chance of tropical storm force winds. Across southern Barbados, about a 30 to 40% chance of tropical storm force winds, as well as northern St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Down towards the south, the tropical storm force winds are going to drop off rapidly. So in the southern St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada, you're not going to be really seeing tropical storm force winds, as you only have a 5 to 10% chance of seeing tropical storm force winds from Bret. Up towards Dominica, you have about a 40 to 50% chance of seeing tropical storm force winds from Bret. And then up towards Guadeloupe, about a 20 to 30% chance. And then much lower probabilities as you go up towards like Antigua, Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, the Virgin Islands. Only about a 5 to 20% chance that you'll see tropical storm force winds from Bret, thankfully. And then Puerto Rico, like I mentioned, no threat, as well as the ABC Islands, no longer any threat, as they have a 5% maximum chance of seeing borderline tropical storm force winds from Tropical Storm Bret. Now, looking at the latest timing of the tropical storm force winds, so this has been pushed back a little bit as Bret has kind of slowed a little bit while approaching the islands. So Barbados, you're now going to be expecting tropical storm force winds around noon today, and then from St. Vincent and the Grenadines through St. Lucia, Martinique, towards Dominica, Guadeloupe, up towards Antigua, Barbuda, you can expect tropical storm force winds around 2 p.m. this afternoon, maybe later around 3 to 4 p.m. this afternoon, and then they'll move west by 8 p.m. this evening, but remain across most of the islands. And then we should see tropical storm force winds exit by Friday 2 a.m. and then push out towards the Central Caribbean into Friday. And before I close the video, I believe that there's going to be a big flooding threat across the Windward Islands. So wherever the corridor of the heaviest rain sets up could be St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but more likely St. Lucia and Martinique, maybe even Dominica. You could be seeing as much as 4 to 7 inches of rain from Tropical Storm Bret, which is going to cause some major flooding issues across wherever this corridor of heavy rain sets up. And even outside the corridor of heavy rain, you're likely going to be seeing at least 2 to 4 inches of rain as far north as Guadeloupe and as far south as Grenada, even Trinidad and Tobago. You could see about 2 to 3 inches of rain from Bret. So make sure you're preparing for flooding as well if you live across Martinique and Dominica, St. Lucia especially. So thanks for watching this morning's update on Tropical Storm Bret. Make sure you're making your last minute tropical storm and hurricane preparation plans, especially if you live across St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, Martinique, and Dominica. Stay safe and have a wonderful day, my friends.